and welcome to the ID Talk podcast. My name is Peter Counter, and I am the editor-in-chief of FindBiometrics, which just returned from Identiverse 2022. Our own Doug O'Gordon was on the show floor at the conference, reporting live and interviewing the identity industry leaders that were in attendance, and that's why, on this special episode of ID Talk, O'Gordon interviews Andre Durand, CEO of Ping Identity. FindBiometrics readers will know Ping as the prominent and innovative identity company that founded Identiverse 13 years ago. In this interview, Durand gives us the scoop on the first beneficiary of Ping's new VC investment initiative, speaks on the accomplishments of the identirati who continue to support the Identiverse conference, and lays out the exciting next steps in our digital identity future. Those are only a few of the many topics covered in this fascinating conversation with an industry thought leader, so let's get straight to it. Here is FindBiometrics' Doug O'Gordon in conversation with Ping Identity CEO Andre Durand, recorded live at Identiverse 2022.
Hi, FindBiometrics listeners. Doug O'Gordon here live at Identiverse 2022. I'm with Andre Durand, CEO of Ping Identity.
Good to be here, Doug.
Hi, Andre. You basically just got off the keynote stage where you presented at your own event. At the same time, you introduced this new partnership that you have with the Cyber Risk Alliance. Now, I'm just going to throw this one out here to you. Your closing statement was, embrace the new you, and that the world is run by those who hustle. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I was referring to a statement. The world is run by those who show up and hustle. And I was giving homage to all the identirati that have taken not just the opportunity for this event essentially to show up, but for many, many years now that we've been running the conference. This is the group of the people that are essentially creating our digital identity reality. And I always attempt to kind of spur some new thought into the group, moving the group, collective, if you will, towards a common goal of better security, better user experience, better control and privacy for the individual. And we're doing it.
Yeah. I was just at my lunch. Here's homage to your crew. I had lunch at a table. I sat down and knew no one. Those folks at that table were all from Fortune 100 companies. It was, can I say their names? Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I think that's...
We've got Target, ADP, Northrop Grumman, and MetLife.
Yeah.
We're all sitting next to me talking about cybersecurity.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Pretty exciting.
So you got a really good crew at this event. So going back to your on stage, my takeaways were this, and maybe you can elaborate, but you mentioned that there's one physical you versus many digital yous, and that our IT and OT worlds are colliding, and that your smart device, your phone, which will have biometrics, which will play a key role, I added that, will be where you store your identity in our digital wallets, and that we will have this new business which you call credential issuers.
Yep.
Maybe explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So we're entering a new phase of identity where the third and most important actor, which is you, is now going to be enabled to both collect and manage our own digital identity information that today is stored and essentially maintained by all the companies that we interact with around essentially our phone, our smart device, which is biometrically enabled, has a secure enclave, and all the methods from which we can collect and store digital credentials on our phone in a wallet, again, unlocked with our biometric. And there's an emerging set of new standards and protocols and flows that allow that identity information to be collected by you, stored on the phone, and then shared and verified by third parties. So we're really on the cusp of a whole new paradigm, if you will, of identity, and it's super exciting time.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about the Ping Identity Fund?
Well, as this industry matures, the identity industry, we're seeing great strides in innovation. So the old way of doing things now are giving way to a whole slew of new thoughts, and with those new thoughts comes a whole bunch of new companies that are essentially pioneering and innovating the way. And so we're excited to leverage, the scale and good fortune that we've had as a company to launch Ping Ventures, a new fund that will allow us to make investments in startups and other technologies looking to scale, where hopefully we can help them and on multiple levels, both help them succeed and help them take that new technology into market, and provide a little bit of funding along the way.
Mm-hmm. Any current investments yet?
Well, I need to go check, but I think we made one announcement, Authenticate, and
awesome.
Yeah, there you have
They're
it.
my friends. I love
they?
those guys.
So Ping is now an investor in Authenticate.
Chad Spensky.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And he's here.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Okay.
My understanding is here. I'm going to try to meet him.
Great. That's exciting.
Yep.
One last question that I had from the editorial team. Earlier this year, Ping Identity teamed up with Cloudflare and CrowdStrike Holdings to create the Critical Infrastructure Defense Project. What was the inception of this project, and what role does identity play when it comes to defending critical infrastructure?
Well, it's kind of no secret that a lot of our critical infrastructure is pretty antiquated in the security controls, and obviously the public safety is dependent upon them coming up to speed. So part of that alliance in the effort here was to make available to those entities the technology which represents kind of the new world of security, which is identity centric, but also has to recognize the fact that what we're attempting to secure is now morphing over time. And so zero trust, the notion of zero trust, verify always, don't trust the user, the network, or the device, is a construct rooted in the notion that everyone should be strongly authenticated and appropriately authorized before they access any system, and that those users are now increasingly coming on to and accessing these systems on any device. And so we need to secure the endpoint. The endpoint isn't necessarily on the network behind the firewall, it's outside the firewall on one end. And then in Cloudflare's case, that the new cloud edge has also changed in the way that we're thinking about our network, and all of the different internet and other network security controls is now giving way from things that we ran to things that we outsourced to companies like Cloudflare. So the partnership here was looking at the critical pillars of a new zero trust security paradigm. Control the endpoint, control the identity, control the new cloud edge. So it was an exciting partnership to kind of highlight a new reference architecture for zero trust.
And in closing, anything you'd like to share with us that you're working on in the next 6 months? By the end of the year, you got any items you'd like to let our group know about?
Yeah, I think there are two things that really excite me. One is that the speed with which we can now integrate some very advanced identity technologies is going through a renaissance in orchestration. And so we acquired and have launched a new capability that essentially allows companies to stitch together all these very sophisticated identity technologies to create these amazing user journeys where identity is invisible but embedded, and do it in hours what used to take months and months. And that might sound pretty mundane, but we need more speed. Flat out, we must have more speed in integrating identity technology, and orchestration it's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
It's a 10x for sure. So super excited about the practicality and reality of that. And then one step beyond that, as I kind of shared in my keynote, very excited about empowering individuals to control their privacy with their identity on their phone. Decentralized and leverage the embedded biometrics of the devices in our pocket to unlock and secure the digital information.
That's awesome. Hey, great way to close our interview, and thanks for inviting me to Identiverse, and it's going to be an exciting next few days.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, thank you.
so concludes our interview with Andre Durand, CEO of Ping Identity. To learn more about the topics discussed in this episode, visit pingidentity.com. And for more Identiverse coverage recorded straight from the conference, stay posted to FindBiometrics.com. I want to thank Andre for participating in this episode, and thank you to Doug O'Gordon for conducting the interview. Our podcast theme music is by Logomrad. I have been your host, Peter Counter. Thank you for listening to the ID Talk Podcast.